Hey, it's your girl KV back with something I ain't did in a while. And I'm getting myself together because I read and listen to so many books, but I don't be coming on here to do the book review. So this is my 2025 just kind of overall book review. You can see on the slide what books I have read and all of that. My goal for 2025 was 30 books. I think I did like 22. So I'm finna briefly just kind of discuss each book, and then I got my little talking points for the year, right? So as I mentioned when I started this last year or the year before, I think it was 2024, whenever I started the Bookin It playlist on here doing this, I started my book. Well, I didn't start the book club, but I joined a book club in 2024. And I have literally never missed an official meeting since. I am a chronic book clubber. I actually just joined a second book club. So it's gonna be all types of fun. I told them, I was like, well, because somebody was like, well, can y'all do virtual? I said, hey, let me get my what's it, like StreamYard or something. Let me get one of these little things popping, and I'm gonna start doing a virtual one and posting those panels where we talk about the different books. So really excited about that. Like I said, 2025 I did 22 books. Goal was 30. This year I'm keeping the same goal of 30, and I'm gonna beat it. I'm gonna read 30 plus. So last year, I'm just gonna briefly touch on these 22 books first. Demon's Dream, y'all. It's long, but it is a page turner. Baby, I was reading the mess out that book. And it's my type of romance, because I learned this year I'm not a romance type of girl. Like the romance books people was recommending, I was just like, this is so slow. Like I just need some more. I'm a thriller girl for one. And if I am gonna do romance, it needs to be thug love romance. You know what I mean? Thug love. Like it need to be a dude with some guns and a girl that may have been taken against her will, but like on some gang-ish, like your daddy told me that we supposed to be together, so you gonna learn to love me, little mama. Bop, 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 bop. Shoot some niggas over there. He playing with you, bop. You know what I mean? Like, give me the thug love. And that's exactly what Demon's Dream was. It was just tens, okay? I love it. I feel like I'm gonna reread it. Does it have an audiobook? It needs an audiobook. If it does an audiobook, I'll probably listen to the audiobook or read it again sometime soon. But Demon's Dream, like I said, it was the beginning. It was a year ago at this point. I don't remember the whole plot of it. But essentially, this girl ends up being promised to this guy, like I just described, promised to some guy off of some gang mess. He ain't, forcing himself on her, nothing like that, but they just have this connection. She like him, he fine, he gets the motors going. But they wasn't even my favorite characters in the book. It was the sister. So Dream and Demon, they was cute, but she had a sister, Diana, and Diana's man Smoke that she ended up being with. Baby, Diana and Smoke was my favorite. So if you are into thug love romance books, Demon's Dream is your girl. It is long. Like I said, that's one where you probably gonna need to find an audiobook. If you're not like a, sit there and flip the pages or, digitally flip the pages type of girl, it is kind of long. Second book, I like this one even though it wasn't a thug love romance. It was a contemporary romance. It was up to date. I guess I like some romance. If it's up to date, I can deal with it. But the old school, we'll get there. Only for the Week was real cute. The girl was always a bridesmaid, never the bride. She's there for her sister or somebody, and she just ends up being with this guy only for the week. It's convenient. They're all there. the love just overflows into something much more. Both of those books, Demon's Dream and Only for the Week, 5 out of 5. 5 stars, okay? Love them. Now, the third book that I read last year or listened to, I think I read all these. I didn't get into the audio books until later on down. And that's what kind of held me up on my reading, because I was just so against audiobooks. I was like, no, I'm a real reader. I'm a real reader, and I need to feel the book and turn the page. So literally, like, the book, one of the book series that I'm going to talk about on this review, I got them propping up my tablet. It's sitting up on the wall. But yes, girl, but we did a flashback, and we read Fly Girl by Omar Tyree. I hated it. Now, I was that girl, I didn't read this when I was little, when I was younger. I know, like most girls, once we got into reading, it was Fly Girl, Coldest Winter Ever, and Zane. Baby, I was stuck on Zane. I ain't even gonna hold you. I did not read Fly Girl. I have never read Coldest Winter Ever. So reading Fly Girl for the first time as a 35-year-old woman, I just cringed and was disgusted every page of the way. It was just so wow. And then this happened. We were reading this book right around that time where Omar Tyree was having all that bad publicity when he did that interview with the girl on Book Talk. And was it on Book Talk or was it on YouTube? He did an interview with a girl, and he was just real super misogynistic, super dated. Like, he refuses to read any current writers. He's still reading his books and like Terry McMillan and stuff like that. It's like, my God, there's been hundreds of Black writers since then. You cannot still be reading books that y'all wrote 20, 30 years ago. Craziness. So, Fly Girl, well, 2.5 out of 5. I get it, and if I had read it when I was younger, I think I would have more of an attachment to it, but it's definitely like one of those coming of age stories that I just don't really have no tolerance for, because there's usually a whole lot of misogyny. There's usually a whole lot of like, oh, look at this lazy Black woman, or look at this Black woman that's gonna just take anything that's given to her. And that don't make me feel good. It don't. So I don't like to deal with them. So the next 3 books I read was the Kennedy Ryan series, Before I Let Go, This Could Be Us, and Can't Get Enough. I liked them all, and I'm sure if you are here listening to this review, I know it is a very good chance that you have read all 3 of those. Those are like the reader starter kits of this time frame. Like, oh, you want to get back into reading? Here go Kennedy Ryan. You like romance? Here go Kennedy Ryan type deal. So I think I joined the book club only for the 3rd one. They had already read the 1st one and the 2nd one, but I had joined and joined a few months before the 3rd one. So when they was like, okay, y'all, if y'all ain't read the first 2, y'all get caught up, because the 3rd one's finna come out and we gonna read it. And so I went on and read all 3 of them. It's 3 friends. Before I Let Go, I don't remember no names. It's right here. I could really just look at the book, huh? What her name? Yasmin. Yasmin is the character. Her husband, Josiah, they're broken up. They're going to get a divorce, but they end up getting back together essentially. But there's a whole lot that goes in between there. He absolutely moves out. He ends up dating somebody that worked in the daggone restaurant with him. I said, now that, I'm not mature enough for nothing like that. I would say Before I Let Go was probably my least favorite of the 3. The second one was This Could Be Us. That character's name was Soledad Barnes. This was probably my favorite because it was riveting. Like, it was just like, oh my gosh, this ain't just romance. There's some craziness going on. Soledad's married, housewife, 3 girls, you know, living the life until she finds out her husband is cheating. They break up. She's got to learn how to do this on her own. But she feels like she ain't got no skills. She's been her whole life raising kids and being somebody's wife. But they're like, yeah, girl, that's a market these days. Get your ass on the TikTok and get it popping. Show us these recipes. And she does real good for herself, finds a man that she's supposed to be with, and lives happily ever after. Her husband ends up going to jail. That man embezzle. That man embezzle. What you mean embezzle? And then the last one, that was up on the wall, so I ain't gonna be able to show you that one. Can't Get Enough. I like that one too. That one was Hendrix's story. She's the last of the 3 of the friend group. She is like rich auntie. Okay, she's rich auntie. Ain't really the one that settled down. Ain't really the one that had no kids. So she's out here. What was she, like a talent manager? She was a talent manager of a girl trying to do Real Housewife type deal, and ends up taking Shorty man. I mean, they were broken up at the point, but she scooped Shorty man, and they, you know, live their lives happily together. Like I said, I like the last 2 way more than the first one. The first one, it was just like I said, certain stories I just be like, if I can't see myself in that position, it just turns me off and I be over it. The next book I had read / listened to was The Perfect Find by Tia Williams. With that one, I can say it was a blur. The summertime, summertime, the book club takes a break, right? But in that time, one of the book club girls had partnered with the city parks, and we did a summer book club series. So it was just kind of like a collaboration more so than us, the book club, doing it, right? So The Perfect Find was one of the listens for that. And that is the one that has the Netflix, is it a movie or a show? I think it's a movie. Netflix movie starring Gabrielle Union. It was a decent little book. Like I said, it was romance, and so I just be like slick bored with romance. It was fine if you like that type of, you know, if that's your jizz. Next book, I think this was when I said, you know what? I'm gonna get into audiobooks. It's easy to listen to an audiobook at work, and I've been so against it, but it's so many interesting looking books, and I'm not gonna sit and read them all. So, hey, audiobook it is. Frida McFadden. I kept hearing everybody talking about him. First one I listened to was The Coworker. I liked it. It was pretty decent. I see from a lot of people that that's like their least favorite or amongst their least favorite. But it was a decent book. I also had listened to Never Lie by Frida McFadden. It was a secondary read when we read Allegedly in 2024, but I never really got into it then. But once I was like, oh, Frida McFadden, that's that one book, let's go back to it. I did like Never Lie more than I liked The Coworker. And there's another one. What other one? It's another Frida. Maybe The Tenant. I've listened to a few Frida books this past year because she has so many, and I like her style of thriller writing. I like a good thriller. That's my jizz. This is when I'm really like getting into the point where, yeah, I'm a thriller girly when I listen to that one, because all this romance, I was just like, oh my God, can we not? But I'm gonna do a Frida McFadden review separately. That'll probably be the next one that I do. So I ain't gonna get too deep into the ones that I read, but according to this, I read The Coworker, Never Lie, The Tenant, and The Intruder. Those are the Frida books that I've read. I'm gonna do a separate review on that. The next one was a total blind pick, y'all, just because I like thrillers. Jen McKinley, Strawberried Alive. It was a goofy little Audible book. I think it was free. I think it was free, and the narration was AI. But you know what? I think I was standing in line to get the tags on my car. I had to get another car after I had an accident last year, and this was the book that I put on while I was standing 2 times looped around the building to go into the tag office, y'all. Strawberry Alive. It was a goofy little thriller. It made me giggle. It wasn't to the point where I turned it off, which is saying a lot because it was an AI narration. Next book was The Best Man, Unfinished Business. This was a part of the summer series as well. So that one was a good one. Like I said, romance, it just don't keep me. Did I even finish it? I think I finished it. I think I did finish it, but like I said, this was just solidifying that I don't be needing the romance. The next one was another random Audible pick. It just kept popping up on my Facebook. And it's called The Patel Motel. Murder at the Patel Motel. Another goofy little Audible book. It's kind of gives like a true crime. It's not necessarily book narration because every character has a different voice. So that was interesting. It was like listening to a show versus a book. So it was a funny little thriller. Murder happens, and finds out the guy's allergic to coconut, and somebody gave him coconut because the candy bar is wrapper in the trash, and somebody switched his EpiPen out. It ain't a real EpiPen. It's a Wegovy pen. Gave that man Ozempic, type of stuff. So just real silly little book if you just listening to something to be listening to something type deal. I wouldn't use no credits on it. Never Lie. Like I said, that one was the free to Be Loved. This next go round, I read some Be Loved books. She's actually a part of our book club. She lives here in Memphis and is a part of our book club. She came out with 2 books, Objection and Inadmissible. Now they're romance, but they like the thug love type of romance. I'm like, okay, so it's like, a strong nigga that's gonna be doing this for you, and you like, oh my god, but I love him. He's just fan, and then he like, girl, take off work. We going to Paris. Paris? Are you sure? We have so much work to do. Go pack a bag, girl. You know what I mean? Like, same deal. Definitely don't read it if you mad at your nigga. Because somebody was like, these are the type of books that have you looking upside your nigga head like, you don't do this? You ain't telling me to get off work and go pack a bag for Paris. It's one of those same books that have girls looking upside their head. So I read both Objection and Inadmissible. It was like the Kennedy Ryan series, a book for each friend. So we hear about that friend in all of the books because they all friends, they all work together, what have you. But each book is dedicated to each of the characters. So I liked both of those, Objection and Inadmissible. I probably do a separate video on that one, on those 2 as well. Just so this video is not super long, and also like those were some good books. I also listened to while I was waiting on that book to be mailed to me, I listened to The Deed to a Gangster's Heart by Be Loved. So that one was a good one too. I'll do all of those in one. I'll do a Frida McFadden, and then I'll do a Be Loved of just like all the ones I've read, and then figuring out which ones I'll read next, put in the rotation. The next one, y'all, it was a secondary read to the book I'm gonna talk about next. And well, The Scammer. We read The Scammer, and we had a bunch of crazy unhinged secondary reads because it was like, what's another unhinged book? Dear Vicky by Octavia Grant. Y'all, y'all. So one of the girls, hey Ebony, one of the girls in book club had always been talking about Octavia Grant. Like, if you want something crazy and unhinged, you like thriller and you ain't scared of gore, listen to Octavia Grant. She got some quick listens and they are crazy. They are nuts. Y'all, trigger warning. Trigger warning. It's just crazy. I don't even know which trigger to mention, but trigger warning. In Dear Vicky, he is this character. You can tell that he's kind of like on the spectrum. Like, I could see where reading the book you might not have caught it, but listening to the book and hearing how he spoke, you can tell that this character, you know, might not have all of his faculties. He's not like so ridiculous that well, I ain't gonna say that because the man was very ridiculous. But he saw this girl in a grocery store, fell in love with her, thought that she was flirting back, felt like this was his girlfriend. So he carried on life as it was. He tells his mama about it, and the mama is like, it better not be that Mexican girl, it better be somebody, da 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 da. And the man bashed his own mama head in for talking about the girl. And this is like chapter 2. You just murked your mama. So it was all types of crazy and unhinged. Like, I was like, it was entertaining. Quick listen, but very unhinged. I can't do too much of her. I can't do too much of her. She do too much. But I will definitely have some more of her on the list. Now, the next book is one of my faves of the year. Tiffany D. Jackson, The Scammer. I'm probably going to do a full review on this one because it was, like I said, it was one of my favorites. So The Scammer is about, for one, I like about Tiffany D. Jackson is she takes things from the headlines, morphs it into, you know, a great story, and writes on that. So knowing that these stories be having like real basis, like this happened somewhere. So this one was the Sarah Lawrence cult. Yeah, the Sarah Lawrence cult, white kids, but she's got it based. This is a Black author. I like her. I've read Allegedly by her. That was one of the book club books in 2024. So that one was pretty good, y'all. The Scammer, great. It's about these kids in college. They're at HBCU. The girl, she a freshman. She just kind of like, you know, fresh blood, fresh meat on the campus. She trying to figure out her way. Her roommates is cool enough. One of the girls got a brother that just got out of jail and coming to stay on their couch. Coming to stay on their couch because he just got out of jail. They're not really comfortable with it, but you know, they let it slide anyway. And this man indoctrinates them into his cults and has these girls recruiting people on the campus, and they room done turned into the meeting spot, and they can't eat. They got this tea they gotta drink. One of the girls is diabetic. She over here passing out. All types of crazy. But like I said, it was a really good book. And the plot twist, I know that she always has a crazy plot twist, but I wasn't expecting that plot twist. That one surprised me. The next book I read, I ain't gonna lie, I slick don't have no recollection of The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I think I need to read the synopsis on that one to even know or remember what was going on. And I need to do that because I wanted to listen to The Perfect Divorce. Yeah, I can't even remember. I feel like her and Frida McFadden books, it was kind of morphing together to me. So I was trying to separate the two out. I think that's what it was. They were a little too similar. So everything I had in my head for it is just like, was that this book or this book? I think it was this book. So that's what's happening right now. But The Perfect Marriage, Geneva Rose, it was a decent book. It's very popular. Next book was a real good one too. Boomtown by Nick Stone. I liked this book. It was about some stripper girls. Some girl went missing, and you know, the girl who was her partner slash girlfriend slash friend was all sad about it. Where my girl go? And then randomly this girl pop up and kind of look like her, and now that's the new stripper girl she got to train. And this girl gets herself in a bit of a mess and a bit of a pickle, just all types of things just going on. I'll probably do a review of that one as well, because Boomtown is probably one of my favorites. Frida. First Lie Wins. That's the one. First Lie Wins is the one I keep mixing The Perfect Marriage up with, because I think I listened to them too close together, and I'm like, now what happened in which one? Yeah, we'll probably talk about this separate. So that's the 22 books. That's the 22 books from the drink cat. Just reaching, can't find it. I think that's about it. Let me go through my notes. Like I said, the goal was 30. Did 22. Plan to do 30 this year. 30 plus. My top 3 for 2025 is probably Demon's Dream and Only for the Weak are tied. And then Boomtown and The Scammer. Those books left an impression on me. Oh, I don't think I put all my books on the list, because I listened to Monday's Never Coming as well. I listened to Monday's Never Coming because they recommended that with The Scammer and Dear Vicky. So I did 23 books, and I'm going to have to add that to the list. But The Scammer, Boomtown, Only for the Weak, and Demon's Dream, like those books left an impression. They left an impression on my heart, on my mind, on my womanly parts. So those are probably my top. Those are definitely my tops. I'm going to do some reviews. I think I'm going to do The Scammer, Boomtown. I'm going to do a Frida McFadden review all together. I'm going to do a Tiffany Jackson review, all of the books I've done so far, and a Be Love. Yes. Like I said, with Tiffany Jackson, I think I've read 4 of her books. I'll probably listen to another one before I do hers. When I first read Allegedly back in 2024, I really didn't know how to feel when you get to that ending and then you're like, what? Huh? And so like it's like I would just go back thinking about that book weeks later, like, she said what now? So that means, like, I was really like, I didn't know how to feel about the book. I'm like, do I like it? Did it confuse me? Did I not like it? But then I had to sit back and be like, well, if it's left an impression on me to where I'm still thinking about this book a couple of weeks later, I think I might like her writing, you know what I mean? So I did also do The Scammer, Monday's Not Coming, and I think Grown is on my book list. My sister-in-law said that one was pretty good. And there's a couple of other ones where I was like, okay, I probably have to get those done this year. Like I said, I realized I wasn't a romance girly, and if I am, it's gonna be the thug love type. Not the best man, not the friends and lovers, not the perfect match, okay? Yeah, we can end it off there, y'all. Give me some book recommendations. What should I be reading next? Like I said, I am mostly a thriller girly. I love me a good thriller book. That's where my heart lies. I can do romance, but like I said, let it be some thug love, but not too thuggish. Because somebody recommended Capone to me. Y'all, I had it on Audible, used the credit and everything. I couldn't get past the first chapter. It was just talking way too hard. And it was just too much. It was too much for my spirit and my soul. Folks was like, you gotta go past the first chapter. I said, do I? It's scaring me. It's messing up my nervous system. Like, I don't want nothing that thuggish. I don't want nothing that thuggish. More on the love than the thug, okay? If you're gonna recommend me something. I like fantasy, young adult books. I can do something like that too, but yeah. Thriller and thug love me, y'all. Don't self-help. We decided this year in the book club. We was like, ain't nobody trying to read self-help, right? Yeah, we did the Let Them Theory last year. Did I have it on there? I don't even think I put it on there because I didn't finish. But I did start the Let Them Theory. I don't be, that stuff don't be keeping me. It don't be keeping me. So I did not finish the Let Them Theory, but I did start it because we had it for book club. Yeah, that's about it for the books for the year, for last year at least. I'm gonna do some reviews for this year. I already listened to one book that was on Audible, not Audible. It was in my Libby, just a random in-between book that I was listening to, just, to keep the momentum going. But I'm now reading I, Medusa. That's the first read for the new book club. And it's a lot of Greek mythology. I can dig it. I took Greek mythology in high school, so I'm interested. And yeah. But yeah, y'all, I am really aiming to do 2 to 4 book reviews a month. So if not every week, every other week, because I have enough books to review. So I need to be reviewing them too. But make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what books y'all reading this year. Plenty of new stuff coming out. Let me know what y'all see, what y'all finna be reading. If y'all want to read something together and collaborate, holla at your girl. Bye.